Welcome back, everyone. This is my second Legends toy review for the evening, and this is Transformers Legends LGEX Grand Maximus. This is a special edition figure. It was more or less like a Kickstarter. Takara was only going to produce this figure if they got, I believe it was 2,000 pre-orders, and they did meet that goal pretty easily. They did have a stretch goal of 3,000, which would have caused us to include a tiny pretender suit for his Headmaster component that was really just a Prime Master decoy armor. Fortunately, they didn't reach it, so it's a shame, but whatever. So here you can see the front of the box. It's big, impressive. You've got Grand Maximus standing there heroically. You've got his two alt modes. You can see his smaller Grand unit in the bottom right corner. And then in the top right corner, you can just barely make out his tiny little Headmaster mode. The side of the box has a nice big piece of artwork for him. The other side just has a kind of a schematic of his different modes, as does the bottom. The top of the box has a demonstration of his Headmaster abilities. And then lastly, the back of the box is really cool. It's got that nice artwork of Grand Maximus on there, along with his two alt modes and his Grand Headmaster mode. So yeah, very impressive box. It's very big, obviously. That's why I'm filming at this angle here. Just like a Great Shot, there is no viewing window or anything, just plain box. So we're going to go ahead, pull him out, and start taking a look. All right, first thing out of the box is his very large instruction book, complete with Legends manga comic thingy. And you unfold it completely. On the inside, you have all these instructions here. It's got the sticker layout. Here's a sticker sheet, by the way. You can see I've already applied them all. And this guy comes with 49 stickers, which is actually less than Fortress Maximus, I believe. Taking a look at the comic, this one I'm not quite as sure of everything that's going on as I was with Great Shots, but basically this is like an origin of the Matrix story. Got Primacron, building Unicron, getting killed, becoming the Matrix apparently. It's interesting. Getting being used, I think, to like make Vector Sigma, which creates Transformers. Quintessons had it for a time. And then we move forward to present day in the Legends universe. You got little Headmaster Hot Rod along with Kiss player girl whose name escapes me at the moment. I think that's the Zodiac? Or is that a chained up Devil Z? I can't remember. Bad stuff's happening, and they're like, oh no. And then Black Zarek makes a comeback. This time utilizing a virtual redeco of Titan's Return Twinferno's body in a really cool black and gold. And for his head component, using the Scorponok Titan Master that came with Titan's Return Grotusk. And then he's also got a trident weapon, which it's from a movie toy. I can't remember what his name is, but he was used to make like Timelines, Machine War, Starscream. Anywho, so yeah, some battling goes down, fighting, this and that. And then Grand Maximus comes flying in a spaceship mode and just crashes right into Black Zarek. Then he transforms into his base mode there. Do some fighting or what have you. He shifts out of his pretender form. I don't know, little Headmaster jumps around, something. Nucleon Quest convoy for some reason, who knows. Optimus Primal, big convoy, and Leo convoy for some reason, who knows. Guy head-ons there. Gets a weapon. He's got his power rings. All of the Power Master type people. And Headmaster Juniors like activate the power rings. They get in their suits, and I don't know, board Grand's spaceship mode, something. You got Fortress talking to Grand, telling him not to overdo it or something like that. He heads on, takes on his robot mode, and you also got God Jinrai going on here, riding Grand Maximus with the ridiculous combined target master weapon. Blow the bejesus out of Black Zarek. He explodes. Oh no, they cut him in half, looks like, with the Grand sword there. That's pretty neat. And yeah, then his head comes off and he passes out from exhaustion, and Fortress is all worried about him, and the end. So not, in my opinion, not quite as cool as Great Shot's comic. Doesn't reveal as much, but whatever. Alright, the first bit of this guy we're going to look at is his tiny little Headmaster component, Gran, Gran. And this guy is just a redeco of the Transformers Legends or Titans Return Comic-Con exclusive Fortress Maximus. And you can tell because he's got the cartoon-accurate faceplate from the Japanese show. And not a lot going on in terms of color. It's mainly black. Does have a painted face with painted blue eyes, red arms. So, your basic Titan Master / Headmaster guy. Here's the larger Headmaster form, Grand. He's roughly the size of a deluxe class figure. And this component, this body here, is where all of the electronics for the toy are actually located. It takes 2 AAA batteries, which are actually not included with the toy. So you're going to have to buy your own there. And then he has lights and sounds, which are activated by pushing down on these little gray tab things here. They did use the actual voice actor from the cartoon, which is pretty cool because it's like a really old cartoon. So it's got a good sound box. If you can't tell from the audio quality of this video, it's not like garbled or fuzzy or anything. So pretty cool. And yeah, he's very solid looking. You know, for what he is, he doesn't have like an alt mode really. He just turns into a big head. He's very cool. Here we have the Grand Sword, which is the massive sword wielded by Grand Maximus. And this sword can actually split into 3 pieces. You can remove this largest hilt piece and form a still rather large sword that's meant to be wielded by like leader or voider size figures. And then you can break it down even further into this smallest sword, which is actually called the Master Blade, and it's meant to be wielded by Grand. And there he is rocking that thing, just so you can see it. I do like the silver paint that they use on it. Makes it look very nice. All right, now let's move on to the biggest portion of this toy. Okay, we're starting Grand Maximus out in his starship mode. It's just a very long, laid out mode. Doesn't look like any, real starship that you've probably ever seen before. And here's a look at just kind of the details on it. It's got these little turret things on the front. It's got this cannon piece here. Very large cannons. Kind of a runway area here. He's got this tower. One thing you can do with this tower is fold the top bits back here. You could insert Grand's body, kind of a modified mode, just like so. And it becomes kind of like a control center for it. So you can see Grand Maximus's body is covered in these little pegs that are meant to support Titan Master, Headmaster guys. Have them just stand on it. because this is meant as like a play set, so it integrates that very well. All right, now we have his base mode, which in truth is really just his starship mode with the legs doing a split, but yeah, it's probably the most controversial mode for this toy because it's the greatest departure from the original figure that they have. Looks nothing like the original figure's base mode, but what can you do? So you can see now, get a go look at the ramp there. He's got his cannons ready. This little clear compartment can open, and you can see that it's got a turret there. You can have a Headmaster type person sit in there, man the turret. So yeah, it may not match the original mode, but it's by no means a horrible mode. It accomplishes what it sets out to do. It does look like a base. You can see it has multiple points like here and on the shoulders and back of the legs here, where it can connect to leader class figures of the Titan's Return variety for base building. And now that they have this guy and Fortress and Trypticon out for this play pattern, you can create some pretty obnoxiously large bases. Sadly, Metroplex, despite having been retooled into this figure, doesn't have that compatibility, doesn't have any way to connect to these other sets. But you can always, kind of finagle it, make it look kind of cool. All right, now that we looked at 2 alt modes, we are now going to have this guy take on his robot mode. So here we go. All right, so first I want to show off the sound effects when you transform this into the head mode. Gives you just that typical Transformers transforming sound there. All right, and here's his robot mode. It's very tall. It's about 2 feet tall. Has very good range of posability to it. Arms can go in and out, up and down, right? Elbows bend. It's all on ratchets. Articulated fingers. These little cannons can still go up and down. Head actually does turn. So that's very cool. And the electronics in the head are now activated by pushing a button on his chest. It's very chatty. Now, one thing I've noticed on this copy is if you push this button in like all the way, because it causes little partitions to come up and push the buttons in here, push all the way, it'll actually start like pushing the head off. So just be careful with that. You might end up popping his head off if you push the button too hard. And one thing I discovered is just like the Comic-Con Fortress Maximus, you just hold his button down. He talks a lot. Goes on for a while. Still going. Okay, so yeah, that was a mouthful. A lot longer than what the Comic-Con Fortress Maximus does. He just plays the Transformers tune, or just a riff from it. Here he is holding the Grand Sword. And utilizes kind of a masterpiece style holding system, where the handles have these little notches on them, or I guess big notches in this case, and they plug into a slot there inside the palm. So holds it fairly securely. Not going to be as secure as like a 5mm peg system. Yeah, see, like that. But it works. And he holds it well enough to where you can obtain some pretty dynamic poses with him. Good play pattern that they've established here. One rather neat, kind of hidden feature is that Grand Maximus's leg cannons can be removed. And I actually have this little hinge piece underneath. And the cannon can be held in his hand to give him a nice ranged weapon there. Looks pretty cool. Or alternatively, they can attach over his shoulders like that, making him have kind of more practical weapons than, leg cannons. Now, it's worth mentioning that this feature is not pointed out in the instructions at all, so it seems to be something that was just kind of dropped or forgotten about, but it's still very interesting. Here he is posing with his brother, Fortress Maximus, and this is specifically the San Diego Comic-Con version, so it's not the Japanese Legends one, but very similar, mainly just color differences, slight ones. And yeah, you can see, these are more or less the same toy with very different color layouts. So if you own Fortress Maximus already, especially this Comic-Con version or the Legends version, you're not getting anything new. You're just getting a new figure for a very, very rare character. Much more obscure than Fortress is. But yeah, me personally, I'm happy I got this guy. It was expensive, but to me it was worth it. Because I always wanted a Grand Maximus figure. Whether this guy's going to be worth it for you, hard to say. He is very pricey. Imported, he's about $250, which is like $100 more than a Titan class figure here. So if you really just want to have something to, round off your Japanese collection, you really want a Grand Maximus, whatever it is, you can put the money down. They're still available online. You can still buy them for about that price. If you're looking for a toy that has and does everything that the original Grand Maximus did, you'll be very disappointed. Not only does it not come with the little tiny Pretender suit that they were listing as a stretch goal, but it lacks pretty much all of the accessories that came with the first one. Whether that's the original little extra robots that came with Grand Maximus, or the very cool Pretender suit that went over Grand himself. Doesn't have any of that. Again, kind of misses on recreating the base mode. So this won't carry you all the way. I'm actually kind of surprised the third party hasn't gone and made the missing Pretender suit and stuff by now, but who knows, maybe they will. I had to wait, several months for this guy to actually arrive to me after I pre-ordered him. He originally released last day of March. I didn't get him till mid-May, but it was fine. It was worth the wait to me. I'm always happy to get more Titans because they're something that are, they're so few and far between that why not get another one, Get all these big city bots. And who knows, maybe if they've done this guy, maybe they might consider a Metro Titan in the future. That'd be pretty cool. But anyway, let me know what you think of this guy, whether you think he's worth the high price point. Would you go out of your way to get one, or maybe only get it if it's on sale? Love to hear from you guys. And, this is where I'm going to go ahead and end the review. Hope you all enjoyed seeing this. I definitely enjoyed showing it off for you. And with all that said, I will see you next time.